Figueroa is one of the most important streets in Los Angeles. And here we are today to announce a long overdue and major upgrade of more than 4 miles of streets from downtown to South Los Angeles. My Figueroa is the result of a $20 million grant and so much hard work and dedication of Angelinos. It's about connecting people to opportunity and to each other.
My Figueroa is an attempt to transform one of the busiest and most traffic corridors in Los Angeles into a safer and more hospitable place for people to get around without a car. We took 3 different modes of transit during the morning rush hour commute: bike, car, and bus, to show you the changes that were made and to compare travel times. My Fig starts at the corner of MLK and Vermont, but you wouldn't know it to look at it. MLK remains 6 lanes wide and filled with speeding cars with no discernible upgrades to bike or bus infrastructure. This makes for smooth driving, but if you want to survive a bike ride, you better stick to the sidewalk. The first noticeable upgrade on My Fig is the addition of a new bike lane running north along Figueroa at MLK. This particular segment of the bike lane is unprotected, meaning bikers share the same physical space as buses and cars, without any physical barriers to keep them safe. That said, there are sections of protected bike lanes on My Fig where cyclists are cordoned off from vehicle traffic. New raised bus platforms provide a barrier for bikes and improve the public transit experience with enhanced lighting and signage. Where protected lanes are in place, biking does have its advantages over driving. One of the biggest changes along My Fig is the addition of bicycle stoplights sprinkled throughout the route. These lights are designed to protect bike riders from right-turning cars. The downside is that cyclists only have a few seconds before they lose their right-of-way. After protests from cycling advocacy groups, the city added sensors to these lights to detect when riders are coming. Now they change more frequently. Despite taking away a lane from cars, if you're driving, traffic still moves relatively smoothly, even at morning rush hour. Most of the time, anyway. In addition to bike improvements, My Fig added roughly 2 miles of new exclusive bus lanes where cars are not allowed. At least, they're not supposed to be allowed. In practice, cars use them for right turns, or sometimes just ignore the rules altogether. Many of My Fig's improvements do a great job of making life safer and more convenient for those without cars. Unfortunately, My Fig's most effective upgrades were installed in patchwork fashion. When there were choices to be made about whether bikes and buses were going to suffer, or cars, My Fig almost always made things easier for the cars. Making things worse, car drivers have been reluctant to follow the new rules of the road. It's not uncommon to see cars making illegal right turns on 7th Street or clogging traffic in the bus-only lanes. Police have been taking it easy on these scofflaw drivers, although it's now more common to see drivers getting tickets than when My Fig first opened. That has to continue if My Fig is going to work as designed. My Fig has an even larger problem, though. Its improvements abruptly end at Wilshire, halfway through the street's journey through downtown Los Angeles. For bus and bike riders, getting around here is just as unpleasant and unsafe as it was a decade ago when the project began. If there is a lesson to be learned from the changes to My Fig, it's that making LA streets safer and more accessible to alternative transit isn't something that can be done in piecemeal fashion. We either build a safe, transit-friendly city, or we don't.